Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I am back again with another video. If you are an old subscriber, then welcome back, and if you are new to this channel, then I make a lot of bookish videos here, and if you are a book lover and a reader or would like to become one, then do hit that subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon. So in today's video, I am going to review a book which was sent to me by the author, and that book is The Genius of Indraprastha by author Harshwardhan, and this is the first book in the Gondwana Chronicles. So let's get started. So the genre of this book is mythological fiction for sure, but I personally also got the vibes of historical fiction within mythological fiction while reading this book. So this story is taking place during the Vedic times in a place called Gondwana. Now Gondwana has 5 native tribes and 1 foreign tribe that invaded Gondwana and settled there. So the 5 native tribes are that of Aryans, Vanars, Asurs, Garuds and Vaishyas, and the foreign tribe is that of Khidmatgars. Khidmatgars have been in Gondwana for 250 years and they have only grown stronger, and needless to say they are not on good terms with the 5 native tribes of Gondwana. They are enemies. The main highlight of this book is the war of Indraprastha that completely changed the fate of Gondwana. Now the story opens in the present time, which is 22 years after the war of Indraprastha took place. So the story introduces us to the relevant characters in the present context. We get to read about the relevant details in the present context. So this is what happens for the first 150 pages or so. After the first 150 pages, we get to read about the war of Indraprastha. So this book has a lot of characters, and a lot of these characters are quite important in the story as well. But after reading this book, I will say that there are 2 characters that caught my attention for the most part. So Commander Bakht Khan is an extremely efficient and a ruthless strategist, and he is a big reason why Khidmatgars are so powerful. And on the other hand, Prince Martand of Hastinapur is a scientist. He's a genius and a fierce warrior and a brilliant innovator. Commander Bakht Khan attacks and conquers the Vanar city of Agnipuram, and there he gets his hands on some ancient scrolls that contains some really powerful knowledge from the times of the Mahabharata. This is the type of knowledge that can make the commander very powerful, that can make Khidmatgars very powerful in Gondwana, and the commander plans to use this knowledge. But he is not the only one who has this ancient knowledge. Prince Martand of Hastinapur also has some ancient knowledge which is equally powerful, and he plans to use this knowledge to destroy the Khidmatgars. Now one phrase that is used quite frequently in this book is Gyanam Amulyam Asti, which means knowledge is invaluable. Now both these enemies have some really powerful knowledge and they both intend to use it. What happens as a result of that is what the story is about. So now I'll talk about my experience of reading The Genius of Indraprastha. For me, this book is divided in 2 parts. This book has around 360 pages, and the first part for me is the first 150 pages or so, and the second part is the remaining 200 pages or so. I definitely was more invested in the remaining 200 pages because for me they were far more fast paced, they were far more interesting, and I literally flew through those 200 pages. The first 150 pages in this book for me had an introductory vibe. The scope of the story is quite vast, it's very evident. So I do understand that a lot of introduction is required for the reader to understand the relevant details, to understand the story better. While reading this book, I had to wait to get to the part in the story that I really enjoyed reading, which was the second half in the story. So this book has its fair share of details and descriptions. These are the descriptions of some battle scenes, violent scenarios, technological descriptions. Usually when I read books that are overly descriptive, I get bored, and I feel that a lot of description can make the story weak because it can take the interest of the reader away from the book. But in case of this book, I would say for the most part these details and descriptions were not unnecessary, and they were very pertinent to the story, because of which they were actually interesting to read. I would not say that they were my favorite part in the story, but I definitely did not get bored while reading them. So as I said, this book has a lot of characters, and the 2 main characters are that of Commander Bakht Khan and Prince Martand. Now these 2 characters are very strong and they have been given quite a lot of importance, and it was good reading about these characters, but I did not particularly connect to any one of them because I did not relate to any of these characters in any capacity. But if I had to choose between these 2 characters, I would definitely make the choice, and it would be Prince Martand. If this character was a real person, I would definitely be very impressed by his personality, and that's why I would say that his character did have an impact on me in a way. Now, if I talk about the writing and the language in this book, the writing is easy to understand and very simple, and the story is very easy to follow because of the way it has been written, so that is an advantage for sure. I don't necessarily have any complaints with the way this book has been written, but if I talk about this book in the future, I'll be talking more about the story than the writing and the language, because for me the story in this book is definitely the highlight. So this book ended with a lot of questions, which is a great thing because it gives us something to look forward to in the book 2 of Gondwana Chronicles. If you are into reading mythological fiction, then this is a book that you should definitely consider adding to your TBR or to be read list, because I believe that if you are interested in a particular genre, then you should be open to reading different ways in which it has been explored, and this book is a very different reading experience indeed. So that was my review of the Genius of Indraprastha by author Harshwardhan. So this was the book 1 of Gondwana Chronicles. So if you want to get your hands on this book, then I have given the link for that in the description box. So that was it for today's video, guys. I hope you found it useful. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.